Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig, it's 9 o'clock and welcome to a new era right here at Magic TV. First of all, thank you so much for everybody over the last few weeks that have said really nice things and reached out to me. Every email, every phone call, every message I've read, and I know I haven't replied to every single one of you, but honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. If you didn't see the video yesterday, I've taken a few weeks off YouTube. I'm now back. And we're doing things slightly differently on Magic TV now. And if you want to know exactly what we're doing differently, go look at the video yesterday. But I wanted to do something to say thank you. I wanted to do an online lecture for everybody in this community and just share some magic that I've never shared before. And if you've seen my Penguin Holiday special from last year, or you've seen my masterclass or any of my Alakazam stuff, or you've been on the Netrix, then you'll know that I love sharing magic. I absolutely do. And I'm doing a lecture for you guys, all unpublished material, using a double backer. And I'm here with somebody special. I've brought the big guns with me. I've brought the one and only Thomas Maloney, the man, the myth, the legend. This is one of the best close-up magicians in Matlock. I mean, this guy...
Only close-up magician in Matlock.
So therefore, the best close-up magician in Matlock. Let's expand it. You're the best close-up magician in Derby. Should we go with that?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Take that one? Okay.
Yeah.
According to your Google reviews,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So Tom is amazing. He's a very great friend of mine, very dear friend, but also great magician, close-up magician, stage magician, kids magician. You can literally do it all.
Do it all.
Do it all.
It's great to have you back.
It's great to be back. Thank you. And this. Right, so this year, Tom's going to help me with the lecture. I'm going to perform some tricks, and all of this is unpublished. And it's all some of my favourite work with a double backer. So it's a trick with a regular deck of cards, and there's a double backer in there, and that's what makes a lot of the magic work. So the first question I've got for you, have you ever used a double backer before?
Yeah, just for doing like a card to wallet, like a cheap
Okay,
man's
but you
card
don't
to
really
wallet.
use it for...
No, but
Okay.
I do like a double backer.
So I'm going to show you some really cool ideas with the double backer, okay? And I think that you'll really love this. I hope you guys will love it as well. But any questions, let me know in the comments. And the idea is I'm going to show you a couple of tricks. This lecture is going to be about 9 hours. Look at his face. This is what you don't see from that side of the camera. Michael's face. And have you missed filming this stuff, Michael?
No.
No. Michael's literally the only person in the world that was like, please don't come back. Please don't. Let's just focus on automation and SEO and that sort of stuff. Let's do that stuff. I can sit at my desk. I don't have to hold the camera. So,
I can't believe you hold the camera. I was on a tripod.
no. That costs too much money. Ridiculous. Got to save money around here, right? Anyway, I'm going to show you I'm going to start off with, this is something I've done for about 5 or 6 years. I never published it. Held it out for my own. It's one of my favourite routines to do when I'm doing walk around. Okay, but walk around where you've got the table. You know, like you go to those gigs and there's tables.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of thing. Because you need a table. But I'll show you. So, do you play cards, Thomas?
A little bit.
So if you were going to play cards, and you were playing cards and it involved having 4 cards in your hand, what would the best 4 cards be to have from a deck of cards?
Aces.
It probably would be aces, right? They're considered to be the most desirable cards to get, right? I'm going to show you the difference between sleight of hand and real magic, okay? So first of all, sleight of hand. I'm going to show you how a sleight of hand magician would find the 4 aces. Watch. I know they're somewhere in the deck. I just have to find them. Now, I could go through the deck and look for them. Or I could do this. I could just concentrate. And when I concentrate, if I push down, that's the first ace. No, that's the ace of clubs right there, my friend. That's the, let me grab that one. That's the first ace. Let me do that again. Look, if I push down, that would be the second one. That's the ace of hearts. Let me see if I can do that again. When I push down, that's the third ace. That's the ace of spades. That leaves us with one last one. Watch the last one. If I push down, that one there is the ace of diamonds.
That's great.
That's pretty cool, right? But I said I was going to show you the difference between sleight of hand and magic, right? This is what you just saw is sleight of hand. It's a technique that I've spent years learning that allows me to make the 4 aces appear on top of the deck. But that's not real magic. I'll show you what real magic looks like. Watch the aces. Watch the deck. Don't blink. Because you see, if I take these aces and I just rub, that's real magic. You see, the top card of the deck has now turned blue. not just the top card, the next card turns blue. The next card turns blue. The next card turns blue. The next one, the next one, the next one. In fact, every single one of these cards in the deck turns blue. Well, except for the aces. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Until I do this. And this. Because then even... Oh no, hang on. I need to get... I got one of them.
Yeah.
Only one. Should we see if we can get another one? Yeah, watch. If I do this and this, now every single one of these cards turn into aces.
I like that.
And we're left with a regular deck of cards. There is one gimmicked card and only one. And all I have to do is this, and I can take out the gimmick card, and I'm left with a regular deck.
Yeah, I like that.
It's cool, right? So it's my favourite colour changing deck to do, and I actually screwed up the ending a little bit. So I had to
I didn't know.
I had to adapt on the fly, but I'll show you how it should be done. But that's a lesson in itself, you know. Sometimes things go wrong, and when they do, that's why you have to know your material, because when something goes wrong, I knew exactly what went wrong, I knew exactly what I did, and then I was able to fix it. And basically, when I showed the aces, those should have all been blue straight away. I realised that one was red. I knew what had happened, and so I had to do a displacement to get it to work.
I even love Magicians in Trouble anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So let me go through how this works. You're going to need a blue deck. Do you do a colour changing deck?
No.
Okay. So this is, I'll be honest with you, we've opened the lecture with possibly not the easiest trick in the world.
I was thinking like, this isn't going to be easy.
But it's really cool. Did that look good, Michael, from your side?
Yeah, did.
So you need a blue deck of cards. And colour changing deck is my favourite opener. And I said this is an electron double backers. This is a red-blue double backer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you put that on top of the blue deck.
Yeah.
All right. Now the only other thing you need are the 4 aces. Now I'll tell you right now, 2 of these aces are red and 2 of them are blue.
Okay.
Okay. So you've got 2 blue aces, 2 red aces. And I make the red backed aces red back because that helps me remember, you know, red,
Yeah.
red, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So all you're going to do is you're going to alternate the aces like this, red, black, red, black. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to do is you're going to flip over the black aces. So you've got a face down red ace, a face up black ace, a face down red ace, a face up black ace. And then you've got a double backer, a red, blue double backer, and then you've got the rest of the deck. They go on top of there. You put it in a red box. The best way to do a colour changing deck is put a blue deck in a red box, because then they're just going to assume it's red. What sort of idiot would have a blue deck in a red box, right? So you bring the deck out, right, and you bring the box out, and it's really important. There's lots of moments here where you see red cards. So you open it up and you show the red cards. Was the colour changing deck part a big surprise for you?
It was, yeah.
Cool. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to apparently show that all the cards are red. And this is a classic move from colour changing deck routines. It's basically a Hindu shuffle. So if you do a Hindu shuffle and you turn over the cards, it's a little bit like a frustration count with a full deck. Now the problem with this is you see a lot of magicians doing this. They go, look at all these cards, and you can see that the backs of the cards are red. Look at all the backs of the cards; they're all. And the problem is you're highlighting an issue that you don't really want to highlight. So the way I do it is I bring out a deck of cards and I say, now if I wanted to go through these cards and find the 4 best cards out of these cards, which 4? And I'm kind of, as I'm talking, I'm gesturing which 4. Yeah. So I'm not saying the backs are red. I'm just basically gesturing with the cards, if that kind of makes sense, which is a better way to do it, I think. Now, when I get left to about 10, 15 cards, I drop them on top of the deck, hold a little finger break at the back, and I just double undercut to the break. So in other words, everything has gone back to the top of the deck, okay? But at this point now, they've come out of a red box, everyone's convinced they're red. Yeah. So now you're going to go into the revelation. Now, this is based on a thing I saw Randy Wakeman do years ago. Josh Jay's got work on it as well, where you've got 4 packets of cards. Yeah. The problem with the 4 packets of cards is you need a lot of table space. With this, I can literally do this on, you know, like when you're doing banquet, I can turn a wine glass upside down, put this on top of a wine glass, and I can do it banquet. I can do this pretty much anywhere. And it uses a palm called a flat table palm that you don't see many people using. Do you do a flat table palm? No. So we're going to show you this. Look at how good this looks, though. You show your hands empty, you push down, and you come back and an ace just appears. Now, what I've done is I've actually palmed that top card off. Yeah. So how you're doing, maybe Michael can come in really close here. My hand comes down, and I'm going to catch the card between the sort of the pad of the thumb and the side of the little finger. It gets caught in that position, like that. And the first time you do it, you're going to pick up about 15 cards or something. The practice comes in just pushing down and getting one card every single time. But if I just show that position again, can you see that position now, Michael, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you do this, so you show your hands empty and you push down, and a card appears, and you bring your hands to the side, everybody looks here. Now, when they look here, this is where you do the next move. So this is direction of attention. Everyone looks, that's an impossible moment. Yeah. And I'm going to come back here, and I've just transferred it into my left hand. So all I'm going to do here, Michael, you want to come in a bit closer here for this as well. So we're here, we've just done this, boom, we come back, everyone's looking here. I come back, and I bring my hands together like this, as if I'm kind of going to play a game of slaps. Bring my hands together like this, and then all I'm going to do is the card is now held in between the two palms. I curl backwards, and I take this into a left hand classic palm.
Yeah.
But when you do it right, it's pretty much angle proof, and you don't see anything. Watch. You push down. Tell me if you see anything, Tom. There's nothing to see. No. How about from you? You don't see anything. And nobody's looking at that hand anyway. They've seen your hands empty. They see this. Everyone's looking here. By the time they look back at you, you've already done the move. So now this is here. I just rest this hand here, and I reach in, and I just take the top card off. And you want to be careful to only take the top card. You don't want to take more than one. And you also don't want to spread because you don't want them to see this. So the next part of the practice comes in taking one card off. Whoops, there you are. Wouldn't believe I can do this shit, would you? Take it. So the next part of the practice is this. You come back like this and just taking one card off like this and making sure that you don't flash the next card underneath. Yeah. So now you can square up here, and this card's here. So now when I push down, I'm just going to leave that card here, and I come back, and it looks like I've made the second one appear. And now I can show my hands empty. So even though I couldn't show my hands empty the first time, now I'm showing my hands empty. And if you want to, and I find sometimes when I push down with my left hand, the card can be a little bit skewed. So you can pick up the cards at that point and put that one down if you want to. So now I can show my hands empty again at this point, and I push down and I do another flat table palm, come back, do the same transfer, take this off, being careful not to flat, because the next card down is a blue card, and then come over and do this and have the final ace appear. So in full speed, it looks like this. Watch. In full speed, watch the cards. If I push down, I get the first ace. Let me see if I can do that again. So that's ace number one. If I push down, I can get the next ace. That one there is ace number two. If I push down again, boom, that's the third ace. That's ace number three. And there's one last one. If I push down, I get ace number four. How's that look?
Just down, it sounds great.
How's it look to you, Michael?
Looks very good.
Cool, brilliant. So, now, here's what you do next. Still deaf in one ear. Brilliant. So, here's what you do now. You've got the four aces now. You're going to put them into red, black, black, red order.
Okay.
And you're going to do, as you say, you know, I've got the four aces, you're going to do a modified frustration count. The first time I saw anyone do a count like this, it was Daryl Martinez, you know, the late, great Daryl. And you know the frustration count.
Yeah.
So this is a modified version. So remember, the red aces have got red backs. So I'm going to show the back of this card, pull it over. But now because two cards have got red backs, I can show the backs of both cards and hide the red back, the blue backs. But I don't say, look, these cards have got red backs, because that would be telegraphing it. I say, well, you know, I've found the aces, which is pretty impressive, but that's not real magic. Would you like to see real magic? Now, the mistake I made, you know, I said I made a mistake. Yeah. I just put the aces here like that. You need to cut so that the red aces are in the middle. That's the mistake I made. You know, you need to remember to do that. So you cut so the red aces are in the middle. Now, you just take this deck, and what's really cool about this, you're going to get a break underneath the top card, which is the red-blue double backer. You're going to get a break there, and you're going to pick up these aces, right? You're going to pick up these aces. And what's nice is you can square them up. Oh, you can't do that, sorry. Let's do it this way. This is why I made a mistake, because I'm an idiot. So what you can do is you can show red back cards. If you keep the black ones in the middle like this, and I'm holding the break here, I can flash and I can show the red backs here. And then as I cut so that the reds are in the middle, I can't show the backs now, but I just showed them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the whole thing looks like this. Look, you say, I was able to find the aces. I got to be honest with you, that was actually sleight of hand, the hand being quicker than the eye. But let me ask you a question. Would you like to see what real magic looks like? I'll give you an example of what real magic looks like, but you need to watch the aces. More importantly, you need to watch the deck. So now I've cut the cards, but I've shown so many red surfaces, it's crazy. So now all I do is I just come over here. Remember, I've got the break here. It's like a reverse paintbrush change. I put the aces here, square up, and then I just grab everything above the break and I pull back. And I just take the aces and I put them down on the table, and it looks like this card turned red, blue, because it did. And then you show this one, you can show this one, you can show this one, you can show this one. I like to show like 4 or 5, and then I can show the whole deck. And unlike a lot of colour changing decks, this is now examinable, which is really cool. And then I say, well, you know, the problem is the aces haven't changed. You know, there's nothing happened with the aces. And if you want to, what you can do is you can flash, you can square up here, and you can show that these haven't actually turned red yet if you want to. But ultimately, what you're going to do at this point is you're just going to turn over, and they're going to see a blue back, and then immediately you just do an Elmsley count. Yeah. And you're going to show 4 blue back cards. It's like every single card has turned blue, right? Now, the cleanup, by the way, just so you know what I did, just so you're aware of what I did wrong, when I was in this situation, I did this and I realised there was a red card, and I realised what I'd done. So what I did is I realised that the blue cards would be there. So I pulled back, did a Christ alignment move, took this card, put it to the bottom of the deck, and now I knew I'd have 3 blue cards on top. So I did a Jordan count instead of an Elmsley count, which got me into the same position. So, you know, that's whatever, it doesn't really matter. You're going to end up with the red-blue double backer there, and you're going to end up, remember, with 2 aces that aren't, you're going to end up with 2 aces that are red backed. These cards are red backed, right? So what I do, if you want to know the cleanup, so you're left with a regular deck of cards, I've got the red-blue double backer here. I make sure when I show the faces of the aces that the 2 red aces are on the face, and I'm just going to count them into my hand. But what I do is, as I take the first ace, I'm going to take that red-blue double backer with me. So I'm going to go and pull off 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the gimmicked cards are here, if that kind of makes sense. But what's very, very cool about it is they see a blue back here. So I do that, then I get I'm going to palm off the top 3 cards. So I riffle at the back, and I get a break above the bottom 2 cards, and all I'm going to do is palm off the top 3 cards, so I'm left with just the 2 aces. I drop those on top of the deck and I cut as if I'm putting the aces back in the middle. And I've already got the 2 red aces in there, so now that's left with a regular deck. And as I put this card box away, I can ditch the palmed cards. You can, if you want to, just if you don't like palming, although what's the point, because if you don't like palming, you wouldn't have done this trick with a flat table palm. It's stupid great. But if you don't like palming, you can, when you're left with the red aces here, you can take the box and you go, well, the box is red, but that doesn't matter. I'll put that away, and I've stolen those 3 cards under the box. So I can put those away. I can put the aces here, cut them into the pack, and I'm left with a regular deck. So that's probably my favourite colour changing deck. Have you got any questions on that one?
No.
What do you think of it? Like, you're here.
I really like it. I want to get my teeth into it. You know, it's one of them. It's one of them where
it'd be easy to use your hands.
No, I just want to learn that move. It's just, but the fact that you're just like kind of a little bit of a production line, like doing it. It's just it's great.
It's cool, man. So, should we do another one?
Yeah.
Do you do an anniversary waltz?
No.
Is there a reason?
I just don't like that move.
What move?
side to side, you know. And it's not a move, but I don't like put. Yeah, I've never liked the idea. One goes in this way, one goes in that way, and then.
Oh right, okay. You might like this then.
Okay,
maybe. You might hate it. You might hate it.
And the fact that it's the gimmick. Not the gimmick's a bad thing. It's just. I just don't.
Well, I love anniversary waltz. I've published many versions over the years. In fact, a very good friend of mine is Owen Strickland, and he performs Easy Waltzer all the time at his wedding gigs.
Okay.
Which is something that was, a really great anniversary waltz. Anyway, let me show you this. Okay. We'll need a pen. So I'm going to have you. We have a deck of cards. And I'm going to have you pick a card.
Yeah.
Now, it's not the sort of trick where you pick a card and I find it. It's totally different. Okay. So just say stop.
Stop.
Yeah, you sure?
Yep.
Are you happy with that? Because you can change your mind if you want to.
I don't want to change my mind.
Okay, cool. So take the pen. And what you're going to do, the two of hearts, can you just write your name on the face for me? That would be great. Thank you very much. And you want to recap the pen? That'd be fantastic. So we've got Tom's card.
Yep.
And that card is signed. So in other words, even if there are a million two of hearts in the deck, this is the only one with your name on, right? It's completely unique to you. Same thing, just say stop.
Stop.
That's great. And are you sure you want to stop here? You can change your mind.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, okay, this is great. Yeah, I'm happy with this card. I'm not going to have you change this. This is my favourite card. Take the pen, and what I want you to do is just sign it on the face. But this time put Michael's, put Holly's name.
Holly.
Put your wife, obviously. You probably love Holly more than Michael.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Kiss. Oh, bless. Well, very good. Right. Okay. So here's the thing. We have the three of spades, and we have the two of hearts. Right. Two cards. The three of spades and the two of hearts. And your job is to keep an eye on both of them. Keep one eye on the three. Keep one eye on the two. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
In fact, if I square them up like that, hold your hand out for me, and just drop your hand on top of the two cards. I'll put the pen away, because my job is to try and do something impossible. And if I do that, did you feel it?
No.
Lift up your hand. Because what I've done is I've actually taken those two cards and fused them together into one single card, piece for piece, fibre for fibre, and that's a souvenir that you can keep forever.
I like that. It's got rid of all the fluff.
It's got rid of all the
fluff.
that's
what I mean.
That has been my favourite version of Anniversary Waltz for years, and I've never tipped it before.
Yeah.
And it's based on, there's lots of different versions of Anniversary Waltz out there, but this is kind of the handling that I've used for a long time. And Anniversary Waltz has been around since time began. It was popularised by Doc Eason, obviously. But, as a wedding thing, this is great. And all it is, you buy a pack of double facers for like a few quid, and you can do it over and over again. So you're going to need a double facer, and you're going to need a double backer. Okay, double facer, double backer, and as well as that, whatever card you're using, you're going to need the duplicate of one of the faces. So in this case, the two of hearts.
Okay.
And the setup is super easy. All you do is this. This is the setup. So let's assume we're using the two of hearts, three of spades. You have the two of hearts on top, the regular two of hearts on top.
Okay.
Then you have the double backer. And then finally you have the three of spades, so that the side that matches this card is pointing down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That goes on top of the deck, and you're good to go. That's it.
I like that.
That's the only setup. So you have the cards shuffled, keep the top stock in place, right? And you're going to force the top card of the deck. So I use a riffle force, but you can use whichever force you're comfortable with. And there's lots of really nice moments in this. And the first nice moment is you're going to do a triple turnover. So I do a triple turnover, and because I'm doing a triple turnover, you're seeing the back of that card.
Yeah.
But because there's a double backer involved, I can take that two off.
Yeah.
And they see a back there, even though that's the gimmick. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
No, that's great, yeah.
And then what I'll do, if I'm doing walk around, I'll put it back on the pack so they can sign it. But if I'm doing a table, I'll put it on the table. And I say, just sign it right there. I want them to sign it in the middle.
Yeah.
If they sign it across the card, that's fine. But I'd rather them sign it there. And I say, just sign it there if you can.
Yeah.
And you did what everyone does. You just signed it right there in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Now, while they're signing the card, I get a break underneath the top two cards. And this is the first really cool subtlety. So you take that double facer back, you do a triple turnover, and you deal that card onto a table.
Yeah.
But now this is the real 2. So
I didn't even notice that.
No, nobody ever does. You were convinced that was the card, wasn't it? Yeah. So because I've done a double turnover, and they signed it in a triple turnover. Sorry, you're turning over 3. Because I do a triple turnover, I take this card off because of the double backer. They're still seeing a back there, but because I got them to sign it in the middle, I can say keep an eye on the 2, and my fingers are just covering where I know that the signature should be, and I can just flash it.
Yes.
And it feels so fair, right? Now, I'm going to have the second person pick a card. So I cut, I get a break, and I do another riffle force, or whichever force you want to do. And I need to turn this card over. And this was the stumbling block for me. I spent ages thinking about maybe I'll do a KM move, and that didn't look very natural. So the way I did it, I know that it's the 3 of spades on the other side of the double facer. So what I do is I get a break underneath 2 cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up these 2 cards as one towards me. So I'm lifting them up at this end for end, like this. And what I'm doing is I'm lifting the deck up, I'm necktying the deck at the same time, and I'm putting this here on the deck. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now look at, Michael, just come over here so you can see this. So I'm lifting up the double like this, and I miscall it, and I go 3 of spades. That's perfect. And all I'm going to do, watch, I'm pinching the sides of this double. My thumb is going to pull that down, aligned with the cards, and then I take this and I turn it back face down. So in full, and that's reverse the double facer.
Yeah.
So in full speed, it looks like this. We need a second card. Tom, just say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Are you sure? You're happy, yeah? Let's have a look. Oh, this is my favourite card. 3 of spades. Yeah, we'll definitely use this one. Yeah. And then I go into my pocket to get the pen, and that's my reason for turning it face down again. Yeah. So now, when I do the double turnover, they see the 3. Yeah. But they're seeing the back and the front of every card every single time. So now, they've signed a 3, and I pick up the cards and I get them to blow it, and they're seeing a back, even though there's not a back, it's a double backer and a double facer. But I let them see it, and I hold the double here. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and this is my favourite moment, I take the card off the table from the 2, and I put it onto here, so it's side jogged for about 1/4 of its length, and I show the 2 on the other side.
Yeah.
How fair is that?
Yeah, I didn't notice any of that.
Yeah, but like, how could it possibly be a double-faced card when you're getting a display like this? Now, this is a really cool thing. So I very slowly show that I've got the 3 and the 2. I square up, and all I'm going to do is pull off this card here, which is the real 2, and I can show this one as well. I put it underneath, so I'm holding a thumb break here, so it's separate from the, and I square up, dropping that card, and then I spread out. So now I've got rid of that 2, and I've just got the double backer and the double facer. So because I've got a double backer and a double facer, look how good this looks. It's the old Monty move. It's the old 2-card Monty move. But I use it to say, keep an eye on the 3 with the signature, keep an eye on the signature, keep an eye on the 2 with your signature. So that whole sequence put together looks like this. So I say, can you sign the card for me, Tom? Fantastic, that's great. So we've got the 3 of spades signed by you, signed by Holly, and we've got the 2 of hearts signed by you. That's a 3 of spades and a 2 of hearts. Now, Tom, I want you to watch very, very carefully. Keep an eye on Holly's signature right there, but also try and keep an eye on your signature on the 2. Can you do that for me? They're convinced. So now all I have to do is retake this in biddle grip, holding a break at the back with my thumb, square up as if I'm squaring those cards, but I've ditched the double backer here. So now I just say, hold your hand out for me. And if it's on a couple, I put it into one person's hand and I put the other person's hand on top. All of that rubbish, you know, about, oh, you're going to be together in life, whatever. And then when they lift it up, that, for me, is a sponge balls moment. Yeah. You can't get stronger than that. I've talked about this before on the channel. The reason people love sponge balls is because it's that moment when you open up the hand. That has a sponge balls moment. They know those 2 cards were separate, and now they're fused together, and you give them as a souvenir. You're left with a double backer on top. Yeah. So all you have to do to get rid of that is say, oh, let me get rid of the jokers, and you take out the joker and the double backer. Yeah. You're done. And to reset the trick, you just grab another double facer from your pocket and you reset again for the next table.
I like that.
So you say you don't like Anniversary Waltz?
I like this. No, there's just a lot of stuff you need to.
Well, it's because a lot of Anniversary Waltz, they just have a double facer in
Yeah.
it. So because there's just a double facer in it, there's got to be a lot of moments where you're kind of having very cosy handling to hide the fact of what it is and what it's not. And yeah, I've tried to strip it down.
Yeah, that's the other one is a worker, but I think that is a worker. I can see myself doing that. Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
Thanks, Tom.
You've taken away, because I didn't like the whole put one in this side and then put one in that side and then I just never liked that bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
well, the bit where they come together in the middle,
Yeah.
that's eliminated. We're just getting to the meat and bones of the trick, which is you pick a card, boom, they've gone together.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did. Souvenir. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
Let's do another one. How long have we even been going? I want this to be, in all seriousness, about an hour.
It's been half an hour.
All right, so we've got plenty of time. My internal clock's obviously broken. This is another double back trick that's a worker I think you'll like. So, I'm going to take out from this deck 2 cards. In every deck of cards, there's 2 perfect mates. 2 cards that are identical in every way. Like, so for example, the 7 of Hearts and the 7 of Diamonds are both 7s, they're both red. The only difference is the suits. There's something like 26 perfect mates in a deck of cards. I don't think this is a full deck. It's my gigging deck, because you can see that this card's been signed in here. So there's a few that might not be in there. But what perfect mate would you like?
The red 8s.
The red 8s. So, the 8 of... Oh, no, we're good. We're good, mate. Did you see a sneaky red 8 in there before and you thought, well, that's it, I'm good?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we've got the 8 of Hearts and we've got the 8 of Diamonds. And the idea is I want to watch very carefully, try and keep an eye on the 8 of Diamonds, try and keep an eye on the 8 of Hearts, but also at the same time keep an eye on me. It's an extra eye, but you can share with Michael, it's all good. There you go there. Now, as well as that, I want you to, I would say this to somebody else. In fact, I'll say it to Michael. Michael, you're going to grab a card. Which card would you like?
Let's go for the 10 of spades. You just went past.
10 of spades, that's a good card. Brilliant. Can you do me a favour, Tom? Can you take this pen? And what we'll do is we'll sign Michael's card right now. Perfect. He's even put an MA for you. I didn't know you knew his surname. That's very...
I had to find him on Facebook earlier.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Do I need to know why?
I'll send him
I don't need
photos.
to know. Fair enough. That sounds even more dodgy. So we've got his 10 of spades there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got over here the 2 red 8s. Yeah. This is the quickest trick in the world. Are you ready for the quickest trick in the world? When you say go.
Go.
Done. Told you it was quick. What did we have over here?
8s.
We had the 2 red 8s, right?
Yeah.
There's only one card here, Tom. There's just one card. The signed 10 of spades. And that's because over here, there's 2 cards. The 2 red 8s.
Oh, I like that. That's fun. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. I like that.
Super
I like
easy.
transpositions.
It's a really simple transposition, and I'm going to give people a few different ways of doing it. But this is something that I do all of the time, and it's really simple, but it's really, really cool. And the double backer makes everything work. So, what you do is you can have them name any 2 of a kind they want, and you could have them signed, but whatever. Now you just need a double backer on top of the deck. Okay, so you just need 1 double backer, that's on top of the deck, that's going to do everything. So you go through and you take out, in this case, the 2 red 8s. Now you're going to do an add-on move.
Yeah.
I believe this is called the secret subtraction, but I might be wrong. J.K. Hartman's secret subtraction. But you take the 2 red 8s. And notice I'm going to break underneath the double backer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to square up the 2 red 8s. And what's really cool is because I'm using a double backer, I can actually flash the other side of that. If I was doing that with a normal card, I wouldn't be able to because they'd see that card. So, because you've got that there, when I square up and I they see that, it's quite a deceptive moment. And all you're going to do is you're going to take the first red 8, turn it over, put it under the pack. Take the second red 8, turn it over, and put it under the pack, and you show the 2 red 8s. Then I just square them against my thumb, I drop everything off, and I go to square up the 2 red 8s, but I've already dropped them there. This is just a double backer. But it looks... did you think there were...
No.
It really does feel like there's 2 red 8s there. And don't be worried about putting one card down in place of two. Nobody notices.
Yes.
Now, so I've actually got the two red eights over here. So all I do now is a brow reversal. You know the brow reversal?
Yeah.
You get a break underneath the top two cards. You hold the break with your thumb. You undercut half the cards, turn it face up. Undercut the rest of the cards, turn them face up. You spread out like this, and you show, and they can take any card. So let's get what's that? Janie's card? Janie? Looks like Janie. Let's get Janie's card. Let's say this is from a gig last week. Let's get Janie's card. So I put Janie's card underneath the pack, and I get Janie to sign the card. Remember, I've got the two red eights there. Now, I'm going to give you a way of doing this that doesn't involve... I'm going to give you a way of doing this in a minute that doesn't involve... dropping a double on the table.
Okay.
But what you do here is you turn the triple over, and you take the top two cards off as one. So these are the two red eights, and you just drop them on the table, and you do a table drop. So you just drop them on the table. But because they've just signed the card, and you turn it over, and you just take the double off, and you go, we'll put that there. Think about how fair a position we're in.
Yeah.
They think that's the signed card. In actual fact, they're the two red eights. They think they're the two red eights. It's a double backer, and the signed card's here. So now, I've effectively done. I just say stop anytime. You know, fastest trick in the world. Just say go, done. And now I say what was here, and they go the two red eights, and you go look, there's just one card. And I put it over here so I can flick it.
Yeah.
I have to have a reason for putting it on top of the deck. Don't forget, I've got a break here. So my reason is to put it on top of the deck, to flick it like that. And then I turn it over and do a double turnover. And because it's a double backer, it doesn't look like a switch because of the double backer. So in full speed, it's boom. Look, now there's just one card there. Look, just one card. You're not going to believe this, but this is actually your card, Janine. Or Janie, or whatever your name is. And then you look over here and you go, well, they were the two. That your card was there, which can only mean one thing. And you've got the two red eights there.
Yeah, it's nice that. I like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
I'm hit or miss with dropping a double though.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going to give somebody like you an alternative handling.
Yeah.
So an alternative handling is this. So we go back to this point. There's a double backer there, and they're here, right? So the other way of doing it is when you get to this point, so they think that the two red eights are there, and you've got a triple here. You turn the triple over, and you pick up two cards as one. And you say, can you see anything inside that card box? And they go, no. And you go, look, I'm going to put it in the card box. You hold that in between your hands.
I think that's better.
So they hold it in between
That's
their
better,
hands. You then say, look, I'm not even going to do anything. I'm just going to snap. Did you see it happen? No. Well, now there's just one card here. This is the card that you put inside the box. Open it yourself. There's two cards in there. They're the two red eights.
Oh, that's better.
I don't think it's better.
You just wanted to show off your dropping a double, didn't you? That's better.
I don't know. What do you think's better, Michael?
I prefer that one.
Yeah.
Both shut up. Yeah, but what that does is if you're worried about dropping a double, it just completely. Where's the? Oh, they're in there. Okay, so if you're worried about dropping a double, it goes there. If you're worried about dropping a double, immediately this just completely covers it because you've got this, and it's so easy just to take two cards, show the box is empty, and just put them in and close it up. Yeah, that's another trick. What do you think of it?
I love it.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's I like you say, I love transpositions, and the double backer has such an interesting use in that trick. It really does clean lots of moments up, and
Yeah, no, I do. I like that. The first one you taught is great, but it's hard. But these two, you got two separate tricks with a double backer that you can just basically in a few hours go and perform.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I think you'll like this one as well. Yeah. This was my attempt, and this is another unpublished one. This was my attempt at replicating an invisible deck with a regular deck of cards.
Okay.
However, I had certain criteria that I wanted to hit. So what I wanted to do, a lot of people make the presentation with an invisible deck where they say, right, I'm going to turn one card over in the deck. And they turn around and they turn one card over and they say, right, I've turned one card over, name a card. And then when you spread through, that's the card that's turned over. Yeah, I wanted the same sort of thing to happen, but I wanted the spectator to turn to make the decision. And that's what I came up with. And this is really cool. It's kind of a cross between the invisible deck and an open prediction.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. I'll show it you.
Yeah.
So, I have a deck of cards here, as you can see, right? And what I'd like you to do, my friend, is I'd like you to genuinely have a free choice of any card. So what card would you like?
Let's go with the 8 of Hearts again.
I don't know where that is. They've gone.
That's magic.
Oh, there it is, right at the very back, right. Okay. Are you sure you want the 8 of Hearts?
Yeah.
You can change your mind if you want to. No, you're happy with the 8?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop that 8, and I want you to see it really is going into the middle of the deck. You can push it down yourself. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Any fairer, and you would be cheating me. I have no idea where that card is. But I will give them a few cuts, like that, just to make sure it's lost. Would you like me to give the cards a shuffle as well? I can do.
You may as well.
Give them a shuffle, give them a quick shuffle. Now, do you have any idea where the card is?
Somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. I'm not going to try and find it, you are. Where do you think it is? Well, actually, let's see if we can do this. I want to cut where you think the card is. Okay, now to be clear, we're going to go with the card that we can't see, not the card here. So you're happy cutting there? Or
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this card. The Queen of Spades. That wasn't the card, was it?
No.
It was the 8 of Hearts. So I'm glad we didn't go for that one. And you could have, you could have cut anywhere you wanted to, but you cut to this card right here. Correct?
Yeah.
We'll just put that there for 1 second. Now think about this for a minute. If you'd have cut one more card, it would have been here, 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 here. You could have cut anywhere you wanted to, but you cut to one card and one card only. That card right there in the middle. And that was your choice where to cut. And the interesting thing is you cut to the 8 of Hearts. And then all I have to do is this, and I'm left with a regular deck of cards.
I like that because I like it at any moment where you make it as if they've done the magic.
It's a great one to do for a bride and groom, where you're like doing that presentation of when you've been together for a certain amount of time, you kind of have a psychic link.
Yeah.
It's a really fun routine to do. So, and the nice thing is, I also made a mistake on the setup of that one because I was setting up in front of you, so I had to do something.
I didn't even notice.
Well, the setup is the double backer goes on top of the deck. Goes second from the top of the deck, sorry. And while I was setting it up, I put the double backer on top for some reason. I'll tell you how to fix that if you do that. But basically, the double backer has to go second from the top. And then what you need on the face is you need a pseudo dupe. So the Queen of Spades is perfect. A court card is perfect. So a pseudo dupe. So two cards that look almost the same as each other, right? And you'll see why in a second. So how this trick works is, and I really love the fact that they have a free choice of cutting anywhere they want to, but they also have a free choice of any card at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you can have them name any card, take any card out. Let's go for the 4 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Whatever. Now, here's the interesting thing. You said the 8 of hearts.
Yeah.
That was right at the back. If you get to this point here and you haven't seen it, you don't want to go further because they're going to see that double backer.
Okay.
So what you do is if you get to this point and they haven't seen it, come up like this. Because it's a double backer, it won't affect anything.
Yeah.
Because they'll just see backs of cards, which is what I did with you. Just, but or you could just do it that way. So you take out the card. Now you upchog it, and as you come to take it out, I get a break underneath the face card.
Okay.
And I put this on the face. And now I'm going to do a reversal move, which I've been doing for years, and I created it for another trick. I'm sure somebody else has done this before, but I've never seen it. Where it's an obvious thing to do, to reverse a card. You're going to take the card on the face, and you're going to do a double turnover. Now, because you have a pseudo dupe, it doesn't register to them that the face card is changing. It just
I didn't.
Yeah, nobody ever notices. So now here's the thing. I'm going to take that card off, but if I take it off, you're going to see that back, which I don't want them to see. So what I do is I do the same move that I did with the Anniversary Waltz, but I grab a single card and I lift up, and as I do, I necktie the deck. So from the audience's point of view, it just looks like I put the card in the middle. But if you come around here, Michael, you can see I do this, and it's actually the Queen that's going in the middle. Now I can push off a block. I don't want to push off one card because they'll see their card reversed. but I push off a block, and I can show that their card really is in the middle, and I can have them push it in themselves, and they can come in and go bonk. And it's a great way of reversing a card on the bottom of the deck, whilst keeping the top stock in place. So in full speed, it looks like this. I'm going to take your card, the 2 of hearts, and I'm going to pop it right there into the middle. You can push it in yourself. Goes about halfway down. Is that fair? Doesn't that really feel fair? Doesn't that look fair? So now, here's the problem that I had earlier. You want to double undercut the top card to the bottom because you want to hide the fact that this card's reversed. So if the double backer is second from top, you can just do a double undercut, cutting that top card to the bottom, and you're golden. I realised that I couldn't do that because I had the double backer on top. So all I did is I just put it into the second position as I spread through the deck. But again, it's like I said, you know, you're going to make mistakes. It's about knowing what those mistakes are and how to fix them. You know, that's important. But you do the double undercut. I believe I did a table double like that. Table double undercut. So now the situation check is you've got a card on the face, you've got the reverse card here, and here you've got a double backer. So now you're going to use a move called the, I think it's the Henry Christ Force. Have you seen it before?
Don't know.
So it's really fair. It's the best use of a double backer you've ever seen. So you're going to have them cut the deck anywhere they want to, and they really can. And I say to them at this point, we're not going for this one, we're going for the one you can't see. Would you like to cut again? And the cool thing is they can cut any amount of times they want to, but when they do it, you say, turn the cards face up, put them on top of the deck. Now, what you've just done is you've made it so that that card there is the double backer, because when you flip this over, they're going to see it back. So you've made it so that the card that they cut to is the double backer. It feels really fair because they could have cut any way they wanted to. So you put those cards onto the table into a pile, you deal the double backer on top of the cards in the pile, and then I turn everything over. Now remember, their card is actually here. So all I do is I do the easiest double drop. I know you said you're not very good at dropping doubles onto a table. You don't need to be with this. All I do is I pick up the 2 cards and I just place them on there. And there's a stack of cards, so it's totally not an issue. And I say, look, you could have cut to an 8. You could have cut to one of these cards. You could have cut to one of these cards. You could have cut to one of these. So what I've just done is it looks like they've cut to one card and turned it over in the middle of the deck. In reality, I've positioned their card right next to the double backer. So now all I have to do is turn the deck over, spread through, and when I do, they're going to see that one card there, and that's their card. Now, the double backer is actually there. So when I take that card out, I just move the double backer to this point, do this, and I'm left with the double backer on top with a regular deck of cards.
Yeah, that's cool.
What do you think of that one?
I like that one.
Isn't that great? What did you think of that one, Michael?
It was a good one.
I don't care what Tom thinks. I care what you think. Any questions?
For Easy Waltzer, though. That's the one I'm doing, Easy Waltzer.
No, that's not called Easy Waltzer. That's
the other one.
Yeah, the anniversary waltz.
Anniversary Waltzer, yeah.
That's your favourite?
Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah, what's that one called then?
It's called Craig's Anniversary Waltz. It doesn't have a name.
So what's Easy Waltzer then?
It's a version of Anniversary Waltz I did with a regular deck of
cards.
Oh,
okay.
Different thing. I've published a lot of Anniversary Waltz over the years. A lot.
It's an understatement.
But that one's my favourite, so, you know, there you go. Any questions on that?
No.
Covered. Do you do a spectator cuts the aces?
No.
Why not?
Don't like them.
You don't like cutting the aces, or you don't like...
It's just a gambling sort of thing, is it? It's just not my thing.
I'm going to show you one that might change your mind. I'll show you one that might change your mind.
I'm British,
and
I'll applaud it either way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 presentations, and one of which is a bit of a mentalism presentation, so maybe you'll like this.
Yeah.
And this is not my trick. I can't claim credit or originality for it. It's actually Ryland's. So he came up with this, and he fooled me with this. This is so cool. So it uses a deck of cards, and when I was a kid, my mum and dad used to play card games with me. And one of the games we used to play all the time is a game called Cut 'em High. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so the whole idea of Cut 'em High is you get 4 people to cut to a card.
Oh, yeah.
They don't look at it, and then you turn the cards over at the same time. Whoever's got the highest card wins, basically, is what it is. So we're going to play a game of cut, and this is something I would do for a group of 4 people, but you're going to have to be 4 people. We're going to play a game of cut 'em high. So I want you to cut any way you want to. It's completely up to you. Put it back. Let me just. I need to shuffle first. Yeah, I forgot. I'm going to shuffle. And you can cut shallow. You can cut deep. You can cut in the middle. It's totally up to you. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Turn them face up. Put them on top of the deck. Are you happy there?
I'm happy there.
Okay. So think about this. This is the first face down card. That would be the first one. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that again. So this time. So that's person number one. I want you to cut any way you want to. Turn them face up. Put them back on top of the pack. Let's see how you did. Okay, so that one there is number two. So you're cutting any way you want to. It's totally your choice. We've still got two to go, so cut any way you want to. Turn them face up. And are you sure you want to cut there? We can do it again. You happy?
No, I'm happy with that.
Happy, cool. And that leaves us with one last one. So same thing, cut any way you want to. Turn them face up, put them back on top. Right here, we'll go through for the first face down card. This one right here, right? So you could have cut any way you wanted to. But you cut here. All four of you have cut to a different card. I don't know how we're doing, but let's see. Everybody, let's turn them over. Oh, it's a draw. Tie, and you get that.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice finale. And
Ryland came up with that.
yeah, so here's the thing. I taught Ryland.
He doesn't like card tricks.
I know. So I taught Ryland the Henry Christ Force.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the Henry Christ Force is, we mentioned it briefly before, but if you've got a card that's face up under a double backer, and you have somebody cut and turn over, when you spread through for the first face down card, it will be the card that was face up. But it's so fair if you think about it as a force, because they can cut themselves, they can turn the cards over themselves, they can put the cards back themselves, they can spread through themselves, and they force themselves a card. If you get nothing else from this is an incredible force. And Ryland was like, why couldn't you do it to get 4 cards? And I was like, it's impossible. And I explained to him why it's impossible. I said, it's something I've been working on for a long time, right? But it's impossible because when you do this, if you've got 4 face up, you put that one down, that's fine. But the other 3 kings are face down and the double back is there. So you're not going to be able to do it again unless you do some sort of, I was like, you could maybe put these cards here and riffle at the back and do a half pass. And he was like, all right, okay. And then he came up with a way of doing it with no sleight of hand. And it's genius, actually. So what you do is you have the 4 kings in this case. Yeah. And the presentation for this is Bill Malone's presentation of the Spectator Cuts the Aces. Okay. From a trick that he published on the Loose called Cut 'em High and Tie. I used the same presentation, but Ryland's method. So there was literally nothing of this that's mine. You have the 4 kings. Stop it. New Magic TV now. Stop it. I'm not getting into this anymore. New era. Stop it. You're going to get me in trouble. What I will say is I got Ryland's permission, so that was good. Now, so you've got the 4 kings, right, face up. You got double backer face down. So this is how this works. You get them to cut, and you can put it on the table, you can hold it, but you say, like, I should have done this and I didn't. The first cut you cut was quite thin, quite small. You can normally get them to do a small cut, that's not a problem. But on the first one, because there's 5 cards, I don't want them to see 2 cards, and I normally say to the first person, cut about the middle. So I direct the first person to cut deeper down, and then for the sort of 3rd and 4th person, it doesn't really matter. But you can put it on the table, and you can say, cut, wherever you want to, cut a chunk, turn them face up, put them back on top of the pack. So they do that, and then you spread through for the first face down card, and you put it there. That'll obviously be a king. So this is what Ryland came up with. You know there's another 4 cards in your stack because there were 5 to begin with. You just put 1 down there, so there's another 4. You've got 3 kings and you've got a double backer. So all you do, and this is so stupidly clever, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. You spread over 4. You square up. And so let me do that again. So you spread 4 more cards. You get a break underneath these 4 cards and square up. Then you lift everything above the break and flip it over. And that puts the cards back into where they need to be. And it just looks like you're flipping the face-up cards down. Yeah. So now, and I was trying to come up with ways of doing half passes, and he's like, why don't you do this? I was like, shut up, Ryland. So you just turn it over like this. They cut, you deal this down. I know there's 3 cards left. I spread 1, 2, 3, get a break underneath them, pick up everything above the break and flip it over, and it puts you back into position.
Yeah, that's...
Cut any way you want to, turn them over, spread through. First face down card, you deal it over there, spread off 2, square up, get the break, turn it over. That gets you into position for that one. The last one, cut any way you want to, spread through, put it there. The double backer's here, so he does the same thing with the double backer, so it ends up on top. And you got the 4 kings.
Yeah, I like that.
It's the best spectator cuts the aces I've ever seen, because there's not normally you're having to shift cards around or change position, but with this they literally cut anywhere they want to. There's no switch. Wherever they cut, you put that card down and then you just do it again. Now, for the mentalists among us, you're welcome. One thing that I've done in the past, even though it's been pointed out to me I'm not a mentalist, is I put 6 cards face up, and I do it to 3 people, and I say, so I make a prediction. I take out a business card and I write down 6 cards, the order of the 6 cards, which is this order. So I write down 2 of clubs, 4 of diamonds, 10 of spades, queen of clubs, 8 of clubs, 3 of hearts, and I give that prediction to somebody. And I say, right, first person, cut any way you want to. Brilliant. We'll take the 2 cards that you cut to. 1, 2. Now I know there's 4 left, so I'm just going to do the move. There you go. I go to the second person. You cut wherever you want to. I spread through and I say, right, that's 2 more cards. Now I've just got 3. And I don't want to do it 6 times. That's a bit much. I go to the third person, do it here, and I go, you cut to 2 cards as well. So we randomly got 6 cards. And now I pick up the 6 cards and I do swindle switch. So I say, right, do you want to deal or split? Deal.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now? Split. What now? Deal. What now? Split. Brilliant. We'll do it again. What do you want to do? Split. What do you want to do now? Split. What do you want to do? Deal. Deal. And then you say, think about this. You cut, you cut, you cut. Any way you wanted to, you took 6 cards out. You then change the order yourselves. No one knows what these cards are. No one knows what the order is. But let's have a look at this. Pass me the business card. And then I go, right, what's the first one? That card. Boom. There. What's the next one? That card. What's the next one? That card. What's the next one? That card. That card. That card.
Yeah. That's cool.
So if you don't like it as a cut of the aces, you can do it as a prediction. And one thing that, so I've got a friend called Jim Brown, who's a florist in California, and a magician as well. And he's in the gold membership on the Netrix, and has been since we started the Netrix like 4 years ago. And I showed him this, because I show a lot of this stuff to people in the Netrix, especially the gold members. And he turned around to me and he said, I love that. And one thing he suggested, which is a really good idea, is doing the exact same thing, having them cut 6 cards, but it matches the serial number on a bill. So you have in your hand a bill, a folded up bill and a thumb tip. And his idea was, you take the bill off them, you fold it up, you put it in the thumb tip, and you go, actually, you hold on to it. So you've switched it. Then as you go to take the deck, you ditch the thumb tip. You do this whole thing, and then you say, well, let's look at the 6 cards you've got and the order you've put them in. Does that mean anything? No, you lent a dollar bill, didn't you, right at the beginning? Open it up, look at the last 6 numbers on the serial number, and they match.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a great idea.
Be great with an alphabet deck.
Yeah, you can do it with an alphabet. Snaps, you can do this deck, because Snaps comes with the double backer. So the Snaps deck by David Jonathan and Penguin Magic, So you could do it with Snaps very, very easily and spell out somebody's name. Or you could force a celebrity's name, Tom Cruise, for example, and you could do it with Tom Cruise is Cruisetom. It's 8 cards. So you could do it with 8 cards out the Snaps deck, having 3, 3, and 2, for example, and then have them change the order. And then when you turn them over, does that mean anything to you? Who are you thinking of? Tom Cruise, T-O-M-C-R. So you can do it that way.
Yeah. I think I'd use it that way,
Yeah. You wouldn't use it as a cutting the ace.
No, I think I'd do stuff force bag or force something and then just predict it. But I don't know, if you had an alphabet deck, like Snaps, it's really good at just the bride's name or the surname, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Anything like that.
Absolutely, 100%. 100 million percent, absolutely.
And it gets it's like the dirty work's just so quick to get over and done with.
Yeah, it's done. The actual process, because there's, I've talked about this on the channel before, there's a world of difference between the perceived moment of magic and the actual moment of magic. And the perceived moment of magic is when the audience thinks that the magic's happened.
Yeah.
The actual moment of magic is when you do the move. You want to get the actual moment of magic out of the way as quickly as possible. You don't want the focus to be on the procedure, you know. You want the focus to be on the magical moment. You know that as well as me.
It's the same with most all the tricks that you just taught. All of them, they're all very. Let's get that bit done, and let's get to the magic moment. You know, it's kind of like it, and that's what sort of magic I like. You know, just get there and hit them hard.
There you go. Where are we at, Michael?
Exactly an hour now.
Boom. I think that we're done.
Yeah.
I think that we're done.
That's great.
There you go. Did you like them?
Yeah, you should make this a regular thing.
I'm not going to make a lecture a regular thing on Magic TV.
No, it's been fun. It's let's just workers. You could take any couple of them tricks. So to act.
I love that. A couple of these tricks. He's dismissing the whole.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't doing that shit.
No, transition's great. I've always wanted a transition where I've not had to have a dupe as well. So I like that because there's no. I always think you're making a bit of a compromise with transpositions if you've not got a duplicate card. But just having a double back, I know it's another card, but especially with the box version, that is a better version. But yeah, it's great.
We'll agree to disagree. But you don't have to just put it in a box. You can put it in anything. You can put it in. I've played around in the past with putting it into a spectator's pocket. So the spectator's got a top pocket like this. You take the double off and you go, I'm going to take your card and put it in your pocket. Can you hold on to that for me?
That's great.
And it's in the pocket. So when they reach into their pocket, now they've got the two head cards. Chris Congreve, years and years ago, when he was running a company with Gary Jones called Workers' Corner, he had a routine called Pickpocket.
Okay.
And he came up with the idea of taking a double and put it into a spectator's wallet. Now, his routine was very, very different, but if you were using that transposition, let's say these were the two red eights, well, what you could do is you could say, if you've got a wallet, take out the wallet and just say, I'm going to put your card into the wallet.
Yeah.
And you put you put the double card into the wallet. So now at the end, when the transposition's done, they look in their wallet and now they've got two completely different cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lots of different options. It doesn't have to just be a card that you put down on the table. Anyway, thank you for watching this and welcome back to Magic TV. I'm feeling a lot better, like I said yesterday. I'm hoping to increase the content that goes out over time. You know, we'll see what comes up right now. We've got some things in the bag, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we'll try to get back to as regular a schedule as possible over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And follow Thomas Maloney.
Yeah.
Where,
Instagram. And that's what I need
what's
to
your handle?
At Thomas Maloney Magician.
I do want to point out, he does occasionally put videos up slagging other magicians off. Not necessarily specific magicians. He doesn't go, that Wayne Goodman, he's a twat. He doesn't. He doesn't do anything like that. But he's got a very aggressive marketing strategy when it comes to videos and pointing out what other magicians might not do that he does better. And I think that's I did that in the old days.
Yeah.
So,
that's where I learned it from. Now, it's just it works.
It does work.
Works.
It does. Very busy,
bills.
very busy magician here. So go follow Thomas. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you want to learn more magic like this, go check out the Netrix. It's www.thenetrix.com, not cookies, despite some people thinking it is cookies. That will not lead you to a website. .com is where you want to go. But I will see you again at some point soon. I don't know when. I don't know when. At some point soon, you'll see another video up here. Until then, thanks for watching. I'm Craig. This is Tom. Michael's behind the camera. And this is Magic